Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about recommendation letters. Recommendation letter, or also called as a reference letter, are the letters written by your professors, your supervisors, managers from the industry you have worked in, and so on and so forth. These letters are required when you are applying for a further university degree program or sometimes for another job application. Now today I'm going to focus on the university applications or the recommendation letters required by any scholarship program. So let's get started. This video will cover who should write it, what content should be in the recommendation letter, and of course what to avoid when writing a good strong recommendation letter. So different programs have different requirements for a recommendation letter. For example, some universities or some scholarship applications will give you a link and you have to fill a couple of questions or upload something using that link. And in other cases, you have to upload a PDF or a document by yourself. So these are the two major broad ways in which you actually submit a recommendation letter. Let's start with sharing who should write you a recommendation letter. I will divide this into three categories. If you're applying for a scholarship program, you can give your recommendation letter coming from academia, coming from industry, and some volunteer workplace, for example, an NGO in this case. Before I break it down and dig deeper, I want to share one big thing. That is, do not go for titles. The universities and the scholarship programs, those people are not impressed by how big of a title that person is who is giving you the recommendation. They actually want to know you as a person. So they want to hear it from someone who knows you, the kind of person you are and the work you have done previously. So if the letter is coming from Queen or a CEO of a big fat company, that will not impress them. Aww. Go for someone who has known you. For academia, you can have a professor who has taught you maybe a couple of courses during your whole undergrad program or master's program if you're going for a PhD. Then you can also have your recommendation letter coming from your supervisor. If you have done any research work during your study period and there was a supervisor you had for some months or so and you've worked with the person knows your research ethics, the person knows the way you have worked, then definitely as any supervisor who is also a professor would be very helpful here. Then usually the undergrads have a final year project. The final year project supervisor can be someone who has been with you for a whole year. He or she knows your journey, so that can also be one more option. If you have done internship with some other department or with some other professor, then that person can also be someone who can recommend you. One thing you need to keep in mind is the document is written on the letterhead of the university, and it is sent from an email address that is also from the university. So for example, Gmail, Hotmail, these are very easy to make, very easy to fake. So they are not the reliable ones. And when someone is a professor of a university, they do have the name at the university.edu.com.pu, whatever. So make sure you tell the professor to use that official email address. Second comes the industry. So if you have done some work during your study program, anywhere, any internship, any section of work experience in any industry, that would also be counted. So let's say you spent summer working at an XYZ company and it was a 3-month period. You got a bit of a good relationship with the company or with your direct manager. So that person can also be a very good reference. Make sure in this case the company's letterhead and the person is also using the official company's email address. Now, what should be in the letter? The content of the letter counts a lot. Breaking it down, in the first paragraph of recommendation letter, one has to write how long have you known the applicant. For example, I have known Alicia for 5 years. Point 2, in what capacity? So the reader needs to know who you were, how you were related to the applicant. If you're a professor and you taught a certain course, which course was that? So, for example, I know Alicia for 5 years, and I have taught her 3 courses in semester 2nd, 4th, and 6th. And another point is it's very good to mention the years, because it makes it more personal. So, for example, in year 2013, this happened. Within the first paragraph, also try and highlight one big or one major achievement. Then comes the second paragraph. And the second paragraph is actually the body, which will contain more details and will highlight more, basically call it a story. So start with a brief story that will strengthen and personalize the letter. For example, Alicia has been very proactive in class discussion sessions. I particularly remember when she volunteered to illustrate her side of the argument using charts and graphs on whiteboard. That helped the class understand further. So this is telling a story. It made it personalized. It also showed Alicia's strength. It showed that Alicia had confidence to come up, draw it all and show it to the class. These kind of phrasing of the letter will be very helpful, and that makes it stronger. Then comes the technical skills. So make sure the letter is customized enough for that particular scholarship or for that particular university. If the program is on environmental sciences, for example, then the letter can contain some technical skills that will link to the environmental sciences program, right? After mentioning a brief story, mentioning the technical skills, the other very important part is mentioning about soft skills. That could come in the second, or if you want to further break it down, in the third paragraph. So mention about any networking skills, any leadership skills, any extracurricular or co-curricular sessions that have been attended. So all of these, which are apart from core academic program, would be covered in the further paragraphs. The last paragraph will be the endorsement of the candidate. The referee needs to include the contact details. So the ending of the recommendation letter should be, if you have any further questions or concerns, please feel free to contact me on this or this. So any email address or a phone number would be good. Before I go further telling what to avoid in letter, I need to say that professors are very busy people. They have a lot on their mind and on their calendar. So the best part is if you can start early, inform them early, and sit down with them if you can, and then mention any story or mention any particular achievement or point that you would want to have in your recommendation letter. So sit with them, tell them that, and then write it together, because professors can forget very easily, right? They deal with so many students in every single year. So it's better if you set a meeting, set an appointment, sit with them, and then work through your letter. This will become kind of a win-win situation where the professor doesn't have to exclusively find time and sit through that, and then you're also there, and the thing will get done very easily in a very organized manner, instead of just coming to what to avoid. Generic sentences and generic words are a big no. If your recommendation letter has sentences like she's a good candidate or she's intelligent and creative and smart, that doesn't tell anything. Anyone can write that. So this is something to be avoided. That's why I say the letter should be personalized and customized. There should be a follow-up story telling, if you're intelligent, what made the professor think that you're intelligent. So there should be a backup story to everything. Then do not have a letter that's just 3 to 4 lines, because this shows that this letter was written in a rush. This letter seems to have a very non-serious facade. So again, it's missing out something. and it's missing out the time and energy and thinking process that should have been in the recommendation letter. And once the whole letter has been completed with all the necessary paragraphs and the letterhead, please proofread it, have a new fresh eye read it through if you would like that, and go for hunting on the typing mistakes. There could be, see if there is any alignment to be corrected, and just proofread it before you submit. So I'm sharing this checklist come template with you, so have a look at that. It's in the description below, and let me know if this could be a little bit of a help when you are starting to write the recommendation letter, or when you can show it to the professor who would be writing it down. And I hope this video was helpful. You can comment your questions here, and I will try to the best of my knowledge to answer those questions and be of any help. Don't forget to share this with other applicants, and have a good day. Bye.